the 1990 Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year, and his club comes in with a 21-8 record. Now let's go to the starting lineups for today's game between Michigan State and Murray State.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for the NCAA Southeast Regional Tournament game between the Murray State University Racers and the Michigan State University Spartans. From Murray State at forward, a 6'6" junior from Aberdeen, North Carolina, number 24, Sherman Pride. From Michigan State at forward, a 6'7" senior from Chicago, Illinois, number 20, Ken Redfield. From Murray State at forward, a 6'7" senior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 40, Chris Ogden. From Michigan State at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Grand Rapids, Michigan, number 35, Matt Stagignan. From Murray State at center, a 6'8" sophomore from Dresden, Tennessee, number 54, Popeye Jones. From Michigan State at center, a 6'10" freshman from Detroit, Michigan, number 54, Peplowski. From Murray State at guard, a 6'4" junior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 30, Paul King. From Michigan State at guard, a 6'6" junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 21, Steve Smith. From Murray State at guard, a 6'2" freshman from Memphis, Tennessee, number 33, Frank Allen. And from Michigan State at guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Inkster, Michigan, number 11, Mark Montgomery. The head coach of Murray State is Steve Newton. And from Michigan State, the head coach, Judd Heathcote.
And we'll return with the opening tip-off of Murray State and Michigan State in the Southeast Region game right after these messages.
Entrepreneur Magazine, the small business authority, is making you a terrific offer. This handsome soft-side briefcase is yours free with your paid subscription to Entrepreneur Magazine. Entrepreneur Magazine is your guide to succeeding in the exciting world of business. You'll discover how people just like you have made it as their own boss and now enjoy the financial rewards that only owning a business can offer. And once you're in business, each exciting issue brings you inside information that keeps you on course. A full year of Entrepreneur Magazine is only $19.97. That's almost 50% off the newsstand price. And along with your paid subscription, you get the handsome soft-side briefcase absolutely free. Order now. Entrepreneur Magazine, the small business authority, is your guide to business success.
Call us toll-free at 1-800-821-2105. Order a full year of Entrepreneur Magazine and get the handsome soft-side briefcase absolutely free. Call 1-800-821-2105 right now.
With Bob Wedlick, I'm John Rooney, and we're in Knoxville, Tennessee from Murray State against Michigan State. The officials for today's game is assigned by the NCAA, Art McDonald, Larry Limbaugh, and Tom Clark. A few things to think about as we get started today. That Murray State is 6-0 in tournaments this season. 0-4 against Big Ten teams career-wise. Michigan State, the Big Ten champion, out of the NCAA last year, but back in as a #1 seed. And the matchups for today's game between Murray State and Michigan State.
Well, we'll see very early on whether those matchups hold true for Michigan State. I think it'll be a real problem for Murray State because of the size and the strength of the Spartans.
Popeye Jones brings it in, giving it up to Frank Allen as we get started in Knoxville. This is Jones from the outside, and he'll do that. And Murray State keeps the ball alive with King clearing out.
Man-to-man, Michigan State. I think that surprised him, but Popeye can shoot it from 3.
He was doing that yesterday during the shoot-around, and I was asking their coaches and their sports information people about that. He likes that three-point shot. It's Murray's ball. After all, Popeye's shooting 44% from three-point range.
He doesn't get a lot of shots because he gets the ball so effectively inside, and that may be a little bit of a disguise, but I think Peplowski's really got his work cut out for him in there.
This is King, and that's a three-point basket to get things started today.
You have to identify him. He is their best three-point shooter. You cannot allow him to do that. He'll do it all day long.
And he's an outstanding defensive player.
1-2-2 by Murray State, their traditional defense.
Montgomery and Smith out front. This is Poplawski, and he can't lay it in. Popeye Jones with the rebound. Frank Allen, a freshman, running the offense now for the Racers. A travel call. Another thing, bringing Popeye out to the three-point line, Bob, it takes a little bit of that pressure away from the inside when Poplawski has to come out to get him.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is spread out the Michigan State defense and try to back cut or back pick out of it. It looks to me like they've identified King as the mismatch offensively. He's going to try and beat his man one-on-one. In the 1-2-2 here, it's a little bit passive. They have to be careful.
A 3-0 lead for Murray State. Steve Smith tries to tie it.
Bad sign for Murray State. 3 guys on the perimeter for Michigan State, all of them shooting a combined almost 50% from three-point.
Now Allen penetrating. Ogden out front to Paul King, who has the three-point basket, and then right back in the hands of Frank Allen.
Inside, Poplawski's doing a good job of bodying up against Popeye. There's the cut.
Popeye steps inside Poplawski, and a block is called against the Michigan State center. That's the first foul on Poplawski, and the first in the game.
Well, here we see it inside. We talked about Poplawski. Here's just a case where Popeye's too quick for him. Ball fake, drive, Poplawski knees him. First foul of the game. Going to be a tough matchup. They're going to have to get help in on him.
Allen out front. He's guarded by Ken Redfield. 3-3 the score. Make that 6-3 as Popeye Jones steps to the outside. We've had 9 points in the game. Murray State with 6, and all of the points on three-point shots.
That's okay, Judd. Heath Coe would prefer to see him outside because in the long run, he'll do a lot less damage out there than he will in the low post.
Redfield and Stegginga. Poplawski is sealed off nicely by Popeye Jones, who gets another rebound. Murray State by 3. And there's Popeye for another three-point shot. And he has just missed on 2 of his 3 three-pointers.
I mean, they're looking in. They're just not going down the hole.
Out front to Smith for a 3. And Ogden on the rebound. Chris Ogden averaging 7.5 rebounds a game.
Interesting matchup here. They've got Redfield on Allen. I think that's very interesting, but that gives you an idea of the versatility of Redfield. He can play any place on the floor. If there's an advantage, it lies in his ability to play anywhere.
They thought he may be slowed by an ankle injury, but Redfield seems to be moving quite well now. Here's Ogden from the baseline. Chris Ogden gets his first basket. A 5-point lead for the Racers at 8-3.
He's been suffering a little bit with a sprained ankle. He's going to have to come alive for him. He's one of those physical players that can play with the Michigan State players inside.
This is Redfield. And a foul on Steve Smith going over the back of Paul King. That's the first foul on Smith and the second foul on the Spartans.
Well, one thing that happens early, of course, here's Redfield. He, too, is one of those 50+% three-point shooters. Smith in over the back. One thing early it's happening, you can tell there seems to be more Murray State people, as you would expect with the proximity. And as this game develops, a lot of people are going to jump on the bandwagon for the underdog.
Kirk Mans, number 10, is in the Michigan State lineup. And Mans is out there guarding Paul King. Popeye Jones for a 3. And Mark Montgomery takes it on a bounce in the lane. Smith from the three-point line. And he's shut off by Sherman Pride.
Well, they had Poplawski inside. They just didn't see him. Of course, Mans here gives him a guy now that can really fill it from outside as well.
Montgomery forced that shot. Smith fought for it. Montgomery got it back to Poplawski. Redfield from the three-point line. Now a closer shot.
Well, they just can't buy one right now. They're getting good shots. They just can't get it down.
Frank Allen all the way to the front court for a three-point shot. And here comes Poplawski and Michigan State.
Got to look up. Got to look up. This is how they've been so effective late, is getting the ball out on the break.
Mans out to Montgomery.
Three-pointer.
And he's so good from that line. But the rebound belongs to Sherman Pride. One thing Judd Heathcote does, he really does a nice job of setting up picks to free up Mans when they get into a set offense.
Well, they've become very effective in the last 6 or 7 games in transition. This is a really tough pace, I think, for Murray, only because they don't have a lot of players.
Popeye Jones just missing again. Redfield out to Montgomery.
Got him. Excellent feed.
Mans with the basket.
Good look by Montgomery.
Montgomery with the assist and Mans with his first basket. He's averaging 16 points a game. A 3-point lead for Murray State. The Racers have the ball. This is Allen. And Steve Smith has the catch in the lane, and a foul is called on Sherman Pride.
Well, they've already made a change now. They now have Montgomery on Allen. They've gone with Redfield inside because they were trying to isolate inside. Here we see Montgomery's pass across to Mans. Mans soft with the left hand, touches it off the board. Murray just doesn't get back.
There's a timeout on the floor with the score. Murray State 8, Michigan State 5.
What's it take to win in college basketball? What's it take to win in 7-Up's college basketball championship game? That hard work could win you a limited edition Ford Mustang or a chance at prizes worth $20 million. So start practicing. 1 in 12 are winners.
2 jobs, 2 kids, too much. At Hilton, we have just what you need. The Hilton Bounce Back Weekend. From just $65 a night, Thursday through Sunday. To reserve your Bounce Back Weekend, call 1-800-HILTONS. It's easy to tell the difference between people who've had an ordinary weekend and those who've had a Bounce Back Weekend. The Hilton Bounce Back Weekend. From just $65 a night, Thursday through Sunday. To reserve yours next weekend, call 1-800-HILTONS.
We don't go for the fakes, and neither should you. Most imitation parts don't fit like GM parts, and they don't come with as good a warranty either. So remember, it's your car and it's your choice. Insist on genuine GM parts.
In Paris, they lined up in the streets. In Rome, it was standing room only. In L.A. and New York, his concerts sold out in an hour. So if you want to see Paul McCartney and his new band, get in line early and get out your Visa card. Because a concert like this doesn't take place every day, and it doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
In the first round of the Southeast region in Knoxville, Tennessee, Murray State is out to an 8-5 lead over Michigan State, and we have 15:07 to go in the first half.
Interestingly enough, Popeye Jones has touched the ball 15 times so far. He's 1 for 5 for the field, but hey, he's taken 4 of those shots from three-point, and we see the shooting. Both teams are really struggling. They're around the basket, but they can't get it down.
Michigan State against the Murray State zone. Steve Smith from the three-point line. He has a 3 today. Now this is Mans, and that's a 3-point basket. Mans a 48% three-point shooter. Give him 5 in the first half, and we're tied at 8.
Well, we see Hickman's in the game for Peplowski. A little more quickness for Michigan State, but we'll see now what they do with Popeye. Maybe too big and physical for him.
Allen out front is guarded by Montgomery. Michigan State in the man-to-man. Greg Coble, number 35, is in now from Murray State. This is Popeye Jones, and he gets one to funnel in. Popeye has 5, and Murray gets its lead back. 10-8 to score. Mans is open for 3.
You got to guard him. The guy can do it. He can do that all day long, but all 3 of their guys can do that. You've got to identify him in that zone. It's a good zone because it gives them good matchups in the perimeter. They're going to have to look to explore it inside.
This is Coble out front for King. A 1-point lead for Michigan State. And that won't go for Ogden. This is Montgomery for Michigan State. Kirk Mans for another 3. Too strong this time. But right there for the basket is Redfield.
Oh, great job by Hickman keeping the ball alive. Redfield closing on the board, gets the easy putback.
Hickman in for Peplowski, as Bob mentioned. And that does give them more quickness inside. Here's Popeye from the inside. A foul inside. And that's called against Chris Ogden. For Ogden, his first foul.
Here we see it inside in the post. Michigan State has 2 options. They can either play behind like they're doing there, although they'll need to get back in off the feeder, or they can front him, deny him the basketball, and pick up the lob on the backside. They've elected to play in behind, but they're going to have to come back in off feeders, or he's going to have a big day.
Number 1 seed Michigan State with Steve Smith shooting. And on the side rebound, Ismael Rosario.
Michigan State right now, I think, is a little bit too impatient to shoot it from 3.
That won't go down for Allen.
Got good quickness and size inside. They need to explore that and develop a little inside-out game, free up their shooters a little bit more. They have nothing inside right now to force Murray State to pack that zone in.
Now Montgomery steps up. And getting a hand on the ball, Frank Allen.
Much better job, though. The penetration forces the zone to collapse. That's going to set up the shooters. But just passing it around, here we see the penetration. You can see what it does to the zone. 3 guys come to cover the ball. He just loses the ball.
Coble, Rosario, and Jones are on the front line now. And with the steal, Paul King. King and Allen make up the backcourt for Murray State.
I know one of Steve Newton's concerns was that Frank Allen wouldn't try to do too much. He's taken 2 shots, missed them both, but he really has played intelligently. That's not as much a bad pass as it was Popeye leaving the post too early.
And Hickman came away with the steal. This is Mans up to Montgomery, and Hickman inside. Popeye Jones with the block right into Mans' hands, then to Montgomery. This is Dwayne Stevens. The freshman misses his first shot. Smith with the rebound, missed the close-in shot, and Stevens clears it out for Michigan State.
Boy, I just can't believe the shots both teams are missing. You can tell it's tournament fever. They're tight.
Mans for 3. Boom. That's 3 3-point baskets for Kirk Mans, and he has 11 points. 16-10 Michigan State.
A lot of motion. There it is. No way.
Popeye with the soft touch. Popeye Jones has 7 points.
When they get the shooter on the side with the low post player, you can't come back in and help as much. That's going to give him room to operate inside. That zone is back inside the free throw line right now. They have just absolutely disdained Michigan State.
Here's Stevens. He ran into Popeye Jones, no whistle, and Dwayne Stevens scores his first 2. You talk about the ability of a Steve Smith to play the guard spot. Now on the offensive end, he's a forward.
He gives you that great versatility, as does Redfield. Montgomery's going to have to make some shots because they're just not guarding him. They're flattening it out on the free throw line and allowing him just to handle the basketball. Good help inside.
Popeye Jones off balance. Stevens rebounds out to Montgomery.
Numbers.
Here's Mans. Smith can't handle it, but Stevens does. And Stevens has 4 points.
Good conversion. Good job defensively by Murray State. Here comes the time.
A timeout with Michigan State leading 20-12. We have 10:39 left in the first half. And we'll be right back to Knoxville, Tennessee.
You want a deal?
The Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra is one of America's most popular cars, and it's about to get a lot more popular. We've rolled back the price on the Cutlass Sierra S Sedan by $500. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives of $750 to $1,250 may be passed on to you. And qualified first-time buyers can get $600 cash back. That can mean up to $2,350 on a new Sierra S. See your Olds dealer now for details and deals.
On a new generation, Oldsmobile.
So much to do and so little time. When it's time to finance or lease your new GM vehicle, let GMAC do it right in the dealership. GMAC. Nobody wants to get you into your new GM car or truck faster, so you'll have time for more important things.
Pour it in, pour it on, pour in the Kendall and pour it on.
You want to add life to the life of your car? Give it the good stuff. Kendall Motor Oil. Pour it in and pour it on.
And pour it on.
What's it take to win in college basketball? What's it take to win in 7-Up's college basketball championship game? That hard work could win you a limited edition Ford Mustang or a chance at prizes worth $20 million. So start practicing. 1 in 12 are winners.
With 10:39 left in the first half, Michigan State leads Murray State by 8.
Well, here we see Montgomery on the break. They've got the numbers. He pulls up the free throw line like you'd like, dumps it off. But Frankie Allen does a great job. Michigan State stays with it and converts. That's just a case of them hustling back and really outworking Murray State. But Frankie Allen did a great job of fighting off the break.
One of the major concerns for Steve Newton, keeping Michigan State out of a running game. Because late in the Big Ten season, the Spartans found out that they could run, and run pretty well to complement their half-court game. Paul King King is out front now with Popeye Jones from the high post. On the inside, Ogden works on Stevens. And Ogden gets free for a shot. Poplawski on the rebound for Michigan State.
Again.
The no-look pass. Redfield was all alone for the basket and lost the ball. He had it slapped away, and Ogden is there for Murray State.
Michigan State right now, though, is just quicker to the ball. That's the first loose ball situation Murray State's really come up with. They're just quicker to the basketball.
There's Steginger for the steal. No shot. A foul on the drive. Larry Limbo shouting out no shot, calling the foul immediately.
Well, it's a great play. Good overplay here.
His first, team third.
We're going to see the foul come into the picture. Otherwise, it's an easy basket. That's a tough foul, though, for Frankie Allen. That's the one guy they cannot afford to lose. Steginger back into the game has really given them defensively a better presence. A little bit quicker, a little bit bigger and stronger than Mans. Matchups now become a problem again. Some elbowing, pushing, and shoving inside.
Now with Michigan State working the ball on the outside, 30 on the shot clock, 9:32 on the game clock, and Poplawski is fouled.
Boy, what
foul is on Ogden.
What a difference a year makes. You're looking at a team that was 6-12 last year, struggled, just couldn't seem to get things together. Now we see the mismatch inside. We talked about this early on as a real key. Steginger is just too big in there for him. Takes the ball to the basket, could have dumped it off to Poplawski. We're going to see those kinds of mismatch problems because all the Michigan State perimeter players can also play in the low post.
So Steginger makes the free throw, a 77% shooter. He has started 31 of the 32 Michigan State games this year. The fourth leading scorer on the team, coming in at 11 points a game. And 2 free throws for Matt Steginger. A 10-point lead now for Michigan State, the Spartans' biggest of the day.
Murray State's got to make some noise right here. It's just getting to a point where they're expending a lot of energy and falling further behind. They've got to get back in and get their excitement level back up and a little bit of confidence.
Coble from the three-point line and Popeye Jones. He was fouled. The foul is on Poplawski.
That's a tough call, but I think it's a situation where Poplawski is saying, hey, I went straight up, but he did with the arms, although he did not with the body. He bodies him out, throws Popeye off balance. That's a good call, gets Popeye to the line. One thing that Michigan State is doing very well is they're forcing Popeye Jones to set up a little bit higher in the post than he normally would. Oh, technical, too much talk. Judge got one.
A technical foul on the Michigan State bench on Judd Heathcote. 14th year coach with the Spartans. Frank Allen will be at the free throw line for the Murray State Racers. An 86% free throw shooter.
The officials need to get it straightened out. You have to administer the fouls when they happen. Popeye Jones shoots the free throws, then the technical, then the ball out of bounds.
So Popeye's at the line. They put him on the Tommy Lasorda diet, the ultra slim fast.
You know, I was talking to the trainer yesterday. One really interesting thing for viewers is simply that was not just, hey, Popeye, here's a diet, go try it. It was a situation where they monitored that thing within NCAA rules and regulations, but he had a regular checkup every week with the doctor to make sure that there were no health complications, and they feel very good where he's at right now.
So Popeye makes 2 free throws and has 9 points. Murray trails 22-14. And this man, Steve Newton, was quoted as saying that because of Popeye Jones' hard work, Popeye is Popeye the tailored man.
Well, I got a kick out of the fact that there were some coaches when he was recruited in the league that said if he ever beat them, that they were going to resign. Well, we haven't seen any resignations, but I can guarantee you they beat most of them.
Frank Allen, as we told you, he's an 86% free throw shooter. So there's a 4-point play and a chance to make it a 6 or perhaps a 7-point play on this roll for Murray State if the Racers get a 3 on this trip.
This is one thing that they do very well. Murray State shoots free throws. They've won more games. Last game against Eastern for the championship in the tournament, 14 out of 15 down the stretch.
There's Popeye Jones, and he can't get the roll. Perry Schickman rebounds. And Kirk Mans is not known for his ball handling. He is known for that 3-point shooting, but he did a nice job getting into the front court.
Man-to-man, Murray State.
Steve Smith off balance. Ogden clears it. Chris Ogden. Frank Allen up the sideline, in on Redfield. Popeye Jones with a nice catch, but he was fouled.
Well, that time down, Hickman not being as big and strong as Peplowski was not able to take away the low post from him. As a result, we see that he catches the ball in very deep. See how deep he is on the lane. All of a sudden, boom, there's a basketball. Just not quite big enough and strong enough to force him out of there like Peplowski can do. And that's a real key, because if you get him the ball in the low post, he's either going to get in the hole or on the free throw line.
Popeye Jones with his second opportunity to pick up his 10th point today. First team All-Ohio Valley Conference, and he was the player of the year in the league.
Well, they swept the awards. Allen was the freshman of the year. Newton was the coach of the year. It didn't leave much for the rest of them. Press. 2-2-1, usually back into a 1-2-2 zone.
Wayne Stevens out to man.
Little three-quarter pressure after made free throws. Not a real aggressive press right now, but as they sort out what Michigan State's trying to do, I think they'll turn up the pressure.
This is Kirk Mans. Stevens with rebound position. But he missed the follow, and Ogden gets it out to Paul King. Ogden from the baseline. Fake Stevens off his feet.
Great move to the basket. He just didn't complete the play. Gets him up, takes the ball around him. And then I think he anticipated the block and really didn't do a good job of finishing off. This is tough right now when they're in man with Steve Smith handling the basketball, taking him inside, taking him outside. That's a tough deal for him. There it is, boom.
Here's Smith. That's a shot for two.
King looks tired right now. I think that's going to really be hard for him. They're going to have to either go back to the zone or maybe make an adjustment, because Smith will run him ragged off those screens, and he already looks like he's a little bit tired.
A 7-point lead now for Michigan State. Coble is guarded by Smith.
Got it in deep.
King is really working hard without the ball. Now Coble from the three-point line is cut off by Steve Smith. Paul King's out front. Barry Schickman's guarding Popeye. Coble starts his move into the lane and scores it.
Good move. Good job of keeping them spread. That's the one thing they're going to have to look at, is spreading out Michigan State on the perimeter and then driving the ball if they're not able to get it into Popeye. Create offense out of the drive with the dump-off pass or the one-on-one play.
Now Kirk Mans for two.
Guys, I tell you, King is really struggling. That's not his man, but he's such a key guy. And I'm watching him here, and I mean, he is struggling. He's going to need a break.
26-19 Michigan State. Coble got a basket, his last shot. No shot. The foul was before Coble's shot. And Steve Smith is guilty of the second foul. There's a timeout on the floor with the score. Murray State and Michigan State with the Spartans leading 26-19. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Listen carefully. This man is using an amazing electronic breakthrough that lets him hear a pin drop across the room. It's the Whisper 2000. Gives you the astonishing experience of super hearing. No more embarrassing complaints when you watch TV.
Can you turn that down?
With Whisper 2000, you don't have to turn up the volume. It's hard to hear in the backseat of the car. Now, sit back and talk comfortably.
Can you hear me back there?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Totally awesome.
Use Whisper 2000 in theaters.
Quieter.
You'll hear every word clearly, comfortably. Similar devices sell for $60, but it's yours now for just $19.95. Here's how to order.
To order, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-776-5600. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to Whisper 2000, 1000 American Way, Roanoke, Virginia.
The network that brings you Sunday Night NFL gives you another reason to cheer coming this spring. Season-long coverage of Major League Baseball on ESPN. Last year, they battled head-to-head for the Pac-10 title. Now this heated rivalry is rekindled when Arizona faces Arizona State. Saturday at 7:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Southeast Region top seed Michigan State leads Murray State 26-19 with 6:34 left in the first half. And sometimes, Bob, a player can try to do too much, and I think that's the case for Paul King.
Well, the poor guy is worn out. I mean, the pre-tournament hype, then coming in here have to guard Smith, and why this is a problem, not only from a defensive standpoint, but he's a guy that averages 11 points and is their best three-point shooter. If he gets tired, he's not going to be able to shoot the ball.
Bench scoring, Michigan State with the upper hand. Kirk Mans has 13 of the 17 Michigan State points off the bench.
No real surprise. We said that Murray State had a problem with depth. That is not a problem for Michigan State. You can't go through the Big Ten playing with 6 or 7 guys and win it.
Popeye Jones from a double team. Redfield has the loose ball for Michigan State. Mans can't hang on to the ball, so Murray State gets the ball back, trailing 26-19.
Really a tough pass to handle. Probably a better pass to lob toward the basket and let him chase it down. You can see this is a ball that's going to skip and not come up. Probably better just throwing it over and letting him run under, like almost like a pass receiver. But it's indicative of Murray State not getting back.
That was only the second turnover for Michigan State. Murray State has 3 turnovers in the first half, trailing 26-19. Coble on the miss, and over the basket to Michigan State. Greg Coble, a junior from Brownsville, Tennessee.
Michigan State does not get enough credit for playing good defense. When you allow teams only 43% from the field during the course of a year in a league as good as the Big Ten, you are a good defensive team, and they don't get the credit that they deserve there, and it's really showing up today. Murray's having trouble getting good shots.
Murray shooting at 29% on defense now with Redfield stepping inside the lane. Boom. There's Mans for another 3. And sealing off nicely Sherman Pride inside for Murray State. Coble pushes the ball up on Steginger.
It's only 7, but I really sense Michigan State right now has great control of this game. They just have to be careful they don't get complacent. Murray State is really spending a lot of energy and a lot of effort just to hang in there with them, and Michigan State looks like it's a little too easy for them right now.
Murray State working the ball on the outside with 15 on the shot clock. Popeye Jones from the high post. This is King, and he's offline. Popeye with the tip. Popeye Jones has 12.
Good sequence for Murray. Why? Not because of the shot, but because they are now gaining control of tempo, and you do that with your offense. That gives them a chance to rest while they play with the ball on the offensive end.
Well, Murray State has cut the 10-point lead in half. It's a 5-point game now. Michigan State with the lead and the ball. Redfield in the lane. Out to Mans. All alone at the 3-point line.
Push off.
A foul on Matt Steginger.
Yeah, good push-up. Here we see they take time off the clock. Not necessarily a great shot. Could have been a foul. No block out, and you've got to block out the big guy. He's not going to play so much above the rim as he's going to play all over the lane. What a wide body. When he gets in there and gets inside position, there's nobody's going to slide inside of him to take him out of the play.
In for Michigan State now is Dwayne Stevens. Steginger has 1 foul, 16 fouls on Michigan State. It's getting late in the first half with Michigan State up by 5. Greg Coble.
Trying to isolate Ogden inside. Depending on the matchup, they either go to Popeye or Ogden.
Coble shoots over Mans. 4 points for Greg Coble.
Been a great lift for him. That's a really tough matchup for Mans. Coble's a little bit too athletic, can go over him and score, can post him up in the low post. They're back in it.
Barry Schickman. And Popeye Jones. And boy, did he feed that off nicely to Greg Coble.
Great hands, soft hands, doesn't fumble the ball.
Coble on the miss. Popeye Jones with the follow. And in the volley, it belongs to Murray State. And Murray State comes away with a basket out of that flurry.
I think Mans is tiring a little bit. This is the most minutes that he's played since the leg injury. Looks like he's struggling a little bit. His man has really taken over the game.
And Coble has 6 points for Murray State. That's a shot for 2. Kirk Mans has 15 off the bench for Michigan State. A 3-point lead for the Spartans. Popeye tries to tie it. He does it. 15 for Popeye Jones. He came in averaging 18.9 a game.
That should not happen. Hickman is a good perimeter player. That should happen against Peplowski, but they should never let him have that shot with Hickman on him.
A tie game at 28, so the Racers have come from 10 points down to tie. Redfield from the wing with Manns coming by. This is a shot for two. Oh, Redfield couldn't get it down, but he did get the rebound. And now this is Frank Allen.
Something's going to happen here.
Frank Allen turns it up on Montgomery. But Montgomery comes back for the Spartans. Redfield. An offensive foul on Redfield. Great position for Greg Coble.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Coble has really been the difference. They're looking at a 10-point deficit. He comes in the basketball game. He's made every play you can make for him. They are struggling, though, physically. Good job of getting set up. Redfield tries to slide by. No way. He's already committed himself. I don't want to belabor the point, but I just sense that they're really struggling physically, Murray State, right now.
We have a timeout on the floor. The score, Murray State 28, Michigan State 28.
You want a deal?
The Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra is one of America's most popular cars, and it's about to get a lot more popular. We've rolled back the price on the Cutlass Sierra S sedan by $500. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives of $750 to $1,250 may be passed on to you. And qualified first-time buyers can get $600 cash back. That could mean up to $2,350 on a new Sierra S. See your Olds dealer now for details and deals.
On a new generation Oldsmobile.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face. Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
Insurance adjuster tells me this morning he can't cover putting GM parts on this GM car. Says his company's policy is to use generic equivalents. So I told him my policy. No copycats. See, most imitation parts don't fit like genuine GM parts. And they don't come with as good a warranty either. So remember, even if insurance is paying the bill, it's still your car. And it's your choice. Insist on genuine GM parts.
Well, Murray State's gotten back in it with efforts like this. Here we see Coble taking the ball to the basket, and then it becomes a free-for-all in there, and realistically, Murray State just keeps it alive, outworks him. Popeye with the follow and the miss. Coble comes up with the basketball, drives the baseline, finishes the play, and we have a 28-28 basketball game. Great effort by Murray State just when they looked like they were about to get knocked out.
Well, the Racers know they're going to have to outwork the Spartans today because this is a hard-working Michigan State team. Michigan State has the edge in rebounding, 24-17. On the inside, Popeye can't get it down. In the volley, who's going to win? Redfield does for Michigan State.
Well, that's the one you have to have. It's dead on goal, gives you a 2-point lead. Murray State's just got to make sure nothing bad happens before the half.
Inside 2 minutes. A minute 50 until halftime with a 28-28 game. Steve Smith for three.
They're not doing a good job coming off the screen. They're getting tied up on the backside. They're setting triple screen for Smith, bringing him off the backside. Murray State's now rotating toward the ball, and they're getting hung up.
And Michigan State does that so well for Smith and Manns. 31-28 Michigan State. Popeye Jones. That counts for three. He has 3 3-point baskets in his 18 points.
Guy can do it inside, guy can do it outside. Just hasn't shot the ball a lot of times from three, but we saw him in practice yesterday. We know he can shoot it.
Michigan State with Steve Smith and Montgomery out front. Poplowski pops out, and so does Steginger. Steve Smith letting King clear. That's a two-pointer. 10 now for Steve Smith.
Well, Smith's making the cut into the low post and then bringing the guy back out, and it's just a very, very difficult offense to defense, particularly when you have a player as versatile as Smith.
Ogden on the turnaround. And a foul's called on Popeye Jones. That's his first today.
That's a foul, though, as a coach that you like. Guys going to the backboard. You can't fault that. Here we see him. He's taking it inside here. What they're doing is after the ball's passed down top, they're getting a double screen here with Montgomery and Poplowski. Boom, boom. If you go on the ball side, he shoots it. If you come behind, he curls back into the middle. He's so good offensively that it's a very difficult play to defense. They're almost going to have to switch that to hope to get any pressure and see if they can't pick the ball off in the passing lane.
Steve Smith wasn't that highly recruited by very many Division I schools. In fact, Judd Heathcote went to Steve's high school to see another player when he saw some skills to Steve Smith. Here's Poplawski inside, and he lost it out of bounds. Murray State gets the ball back, trailing by 2, Bob.
One of the first things that you learn as a low post player is you never put the ball on the floor, especially when you know that there's some help there. There's no place to go. Put the ball on the floor, he's going underneath the basket. You got to either kick it back out or wheel back to the basket, but don't put it on the floor.
24 is Todd Wolf, a senior from Arlington Heights, Illinois. A look at the Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year, and number 11 is Mark Montgomery.
Murray State, I'm sure, will go for the last shot. Don't be surprised if it's a 3.
Ishmael Rosario, number 45, back into the lineup. He just put the ball in play. And Frank Allen is bringing it up for Murray State with 24 seconds left in the half. Murray State will try to tie or take the lead with 3 points on this trip to end the first half of play.
Here we see Stevens on Popeye. I'm sure they're going to really try to keep him from getting the ball by using Stevens' quickness, but
bad shot. And Stegenga blocks out. Here's Redfield. Montgomery can't hit it at the horn. So we play through the first half in the Southeast region in this first-round game between top seed Michigan State and number 16 seed Murray State. And at the half, Michigan State leads 33-31. Coming up at halftime, we'll be speaking with the athletic directors. We'll have comments from Dick Schultz and, of course, our first half recap from Knoxville, Tennessee. Michigan State, with great shooting by Kirk Mans off the bench, who has 15 points, leads Murray State 33-31. We'll be right back to Knoxville.
Why don't we have as much quiet here as we had on the greens?
Okay. Come on, Duval, and they have no reaction.
No, the way you shoot these ducks are going to have to wear helmets.
No, you just need happiness to enjoy life. Very deep down
You
now.
need
Very deep
wow.
down now.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If they're not Dockers, they're just pants.
I look like my mom, but I act like my dad. Which is...
Well, be careful. I feel bad for your mom.
Welcome back to Knoxville, Tennessee, with Michigan State leading Murray State 33-31 in this Southeast Region first-round game. Hi, everybody, with Bob Weltlich. I'm John Rooney. And, Bob, in the first half, it looked like Michigan State had control of the game with about 6 minutes to go, and all of a sudden, Murray State picks it up a notch and really outworked Michigan State down the stretch.
I think that's simply stated. That's exactly what they did do. They got on the offensive board. Coble comes in, gives them a real boost. Popeye hits a couple of three-pointers, which I think surprised Michigan State, and all of a sudden they're back in it. But I really felt like they expended a lot of energy, and they looked very tired when they were walking off the court at halftime.
Both teams really went after it with 37% shooting for Michigan State and 33% shooting for Murray State. But Popeye has his points. Popeye Jones had 18 in the first half.
Well, you just got to slow Michigan State down, get them into a half-court game. Smith, of course, has played well, as you would expect, as has Popeye. But keep one thought in mind, and that's Michigan State's 23-0 when they lead at halftime. Be a tough battle for Murray State.
That it will, but the excitement of the first round of the NCAA tournament continues. And we'll return with more of our halftime activities. 33-31, Michigan State with the lead, and we'll be back after these messages.
To us at UPS, this is a custom car. Why, this beauty's been modified dozens of times. It has a fiberglass fuel-efficient front, a rapid opening foam-filled door, and a sunroof, all of which makes us more efficient, so we can deliver next-day air for up to half what other companies charge, and allow our drivers to be seen in one mean set of wheels. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Sears Great Buying Power Specials. We challenged our buyers to find the best buys possible, and they responded with 140 great items, like this Sears VCR with on-screen display for just $238.78. This month only at Sears. Sears Great Buying Power Specials. We challenged our buyers to find the best buys possible, and they responded with 140 great items, like this high-performance compact disc player for under $100. This month only at Sears.
Our score at halftime, Michigan State leads Murray State 33-31. NCAA Executive Director Dick Schultz spoke recently with Frank Bohl of WDAF-TV in Kansas City about a wide range of topics affecting intercollegiate athletics. Let's take a look now at a part of that interview.
Dick, you told the membership at the NCAA convention back in January that you were looking for a new model for the NCAA. Why, and what were you referring to?
Well, what I was referring to is the fact that there are many positives in intercollegiate athletics, but the point I made that you are what you're perceived to be. And today, if you take a look at the polls, the general public, faculty, professors think that colleges and universities are not doing a good job of controlling their athletic department. So my point was, if that's the case, then that means the model is not working and we need a new model.
Another hot topic in the NCAA is restructuring. Where does that stand right now?
Well, again, the NCAA always has a lot of committees, and you have to keep in mind who the NCAA is. The NCAA is those 1,020 members that make up the association, and they make the rules and they make the major decisions, and we carry those decisions out for them. So we've had a group of people working over a year and a half now on restructuring, a very representative group of all three divisions and the major interest groups. They'll be giving their report to the council in April, and legislation will come up in January. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to come up with. I haven't seen their final report, but such things as multi-division classification, the strengthening of requirements for Division I are some of the topics they've discussed.
It's interesting now you see a lot of interaction between the coaches and the presidents of the university. I think that's really what you're working towards, isn't it?
It is, and I think one of the real pluses that came out of the January convention, even though it was a tough convention and there were some intense floor fights, was that out of that grew a realization that there needed to be better communication between presidents, conference commissioners, athletic directors, and coaches. And the mechanism is in place now to have that happen. So I think that you'll see things start to move a little quicker and more support for everything that comes on the table.
You know, when you talk about an industry, every industry in this day and age is talking about cost reduction. Where's the NCAA with cost reduction?
Again, we have a special committee that's taking a look at that, and they'll also be reporting in April, which tells you right off the top that the January convention will be a dynamite one with the reform and cost reduction and restructuring. But I think that what you're going to see is probably a potential reduction of scholarships across the board, limitations on recruiting activities, trying to zero in on some of those things that are very, very expensive, but yet questionable when it comes to cost effectiveness.
I think one of the really tough things, too, you talk about season reduction. People just say, well, you know, get the athletes back in the classroom. But it's not that simple, is it? I mean, there are a lot of factors involved here.
No, it certainly isn't. And really the steps that were taken in January at the convention in reducing the basketball schedule and putting some stricter limitations on spring football is really a small step forward. What really happens, and what I think you'll see coming perhaps as soon as next January, will be a limitation on the number of hours per week that an athlete can practice during the season and the same thing in the off season. Athletes are telling us very plainly that they just don't have enough time during the season to be the kind of student they like to be, and they don't have enough time in the off season to do the things that other students do. So we need to respond to that, and quickly.
Okay, Dick Schultz, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
We're at halftime in Knoxville, Tennessee, first round of the Southeast Regional, and at the half, it's a two-point game. Michigan State with the lead. Kirk Mans has 15 off the bench for Michigan State, 18 for Popeye Jones for Murray State. And we'll be right back with more of our activities after a word from your local station.
I never saw you hit so well. I'm here in 3, you're here in 1. Ah, Bill.
How'd you do, Jack?
In 3, out in 3. What are you doing? You're playing your best golf, and every time I look up, you're staring at TV. Saturday cartoons make you so good?
It's a special Golf Digest instructional video. The Golf Digest schools pulled 10 instant golf lessons from their 10-cassette collection.
Graphics, instruction, real professional advice, 10 instant lessons?
It's a half hour of the best stuff for a golfer.
It's priceless.
It's free.
Free?
With my subscription to Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77. Call 800-367-5800 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-367-5800 now.
My 4 years at Alfred University were
probably the best experience of my life. I developed a lot of close relationships, and it gave me the opportunity to play intercollegiate athletics. I know in business, like in athletics, you come back from a setback. That's really, I think, really what business is. You don't have a good day every day. You don't want to do it every day. But when you do it, you really try your hardest to do it the best, to be the best. And those things I learned. I learned that in athletics.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Our halftime score, Michigan State 33, Murray State 31. Hi, everybody. I'm John Rooney with the athletic directors of the two schools involved in this first-round game in the Southeast region. And first, let's talk to Michigan State's Doug Weaver. And, Doug, we were commenting a moment ago that to go through the Big Ten, you really just hope to get to the NCAA, and all of a sudden, your Michigan State Spartans found themselves in the title chase and won it.
Well, I think that during the season, your goals change. Our team started out, Coach Heathcote and a team with an ambition to come to the NCAA tournament. And then along about the middle of the season, they started to win on the road, and the Big Ten championship became paramount. And, of course, we're most proud of that because the Big Ten is such an outstanding conference. We're so proud to be a member of it, and we're so happy that we are the conference champion.
Doug, congratulations on the season you've had to this point. Congratulations on getting into your new building there.
Thank you. The new building has been very, very important to us. Our fans have a great place to watch games, a good place for you to broadcast games from, and I think the visitors enjoy it. Although it's getting a lot tougher to play, and it took our fans a game or two to get really used to it, but I think it has all the atmosphere of our old Jennison Fieldhouse now, and we're very, very pleased with it.
Mike Strickland is with us now. He's the athletic director at Murray State. And, Mike, a terrific season considering the young ball club that you have at Murray State.
Thank you. We were picked 5th in the preseason and started 1-5, but Steve Newton did a great job. The guys came together, and we're real proud of the way they finished, and we're real pleased to be here.
Will you get your new building after playing 36 years in Racer Arena?
Well, we hope so. We put on a real campaign with the legislature, and we'll know in about 3 weeks. We feel real good about our chances.
Good luck in your chances in the NCAA, and thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. We'll be back with more of our halftime activities as we have a 33-31 Michigan State lead over Murray State, and we'll be back right after these messages.
This season, when you buy Roundup Grass and Weed Killer, you can save up to $120 on American Airlines tickets. Let Roundup get rid of your weeds while you take off with American. Nothing kills weeds better than Roundup.
Rudy's Air Conditioning.
All across America, from her cities to her farms, dependable Rude air conditioning keeps America cool. Air conditioning with a proven record. For high efficiency, nothing beats a Rude.
Take the new 1990 Volkswagen Passat out for a Sunday drive, and it'll make a big impression. After all, it's roomier than the Volvo 740 and more powerful than a Honda Accord LX. But best of all, Passat lets you experience Farfignugan, a special oneness with car and road which can turn an ordinary Sunday drive into a truly uplifting experience. Farfignugan, it's what makes a car a Volkswagen.
Halftime in Knoxville, Tennessee, with Murray State trailing Michigan State by 2 points. And one would think that Murray State would be worn out by the second half as we see the numbers from the first half, Bob Weltlich. But, Bob, when you think Murray State's down and out, they just work that much harder.
Well, I think the field goal percentages are very surprising. Neither team has shot the ball particularly well. Of course, Michigan State's dominated on the boards, as they have off the bench, which we said would be a problem for Murray State. Interestingly enough, though, as well as Jones has played and Smith have played, Mans comes off and gets 18. Coble gets 6 for him in the individual scoring, which are real keys. Popeye Jones gets 18 points, handles the ball 24 times in the post, 17 on the perimeter. 9 of those points are from three-point range. That has to be a surprise. And now we see the 1-2-2.
Michigan State with the ball. Kirk Mans, the leading scorer for the Spartans with 15. Matt Stigginga. And a rebound for Frank Allen. Now Murray State with a chance to tie or take the lead with 3. Ogden inside to Popeye Jones. He threw up a rainbow. And a foul against Murray State's Ogden. For Ogden, that's 3 fouls.
Well, we see once again, they elect to play in behind, but they don't get back off him. They're convinced Peplowski can handle him one-on-one. I'm not sure that's the case. And you see Ogden come in there and try to part 2 players. Tough call, but big call early.
For Michigan State, Steve Smith, Mark Montgomery, Ken Redfield, Mike Peplowski, and Matt Steginger.
Aha, we see a little boxing 1 here.
And the alley-oop didn't work to Smith. Here come the racers. Paul King, number 30, tries to find Popeye, and a foul on Peplowski. That could have gone either way. I think, Bob, the way Popeye was reaching in with the arm.
Yeah, but I tell you, Peplowski, I think, had his left arm across in front of him. Looks like 2 big bears wrestling in there. You know, we've talked all day long, and it's obviously they think now they can go inside. They've seen that Michigan State's not going to come in and help. They're going to try and isolate Popeye in the post.
So 3 fouls now on Peplowski. The first team foul on Michigan State in the second half. Peplowski has 3 fouls. 3 fouls on Chris Ogden of the Racers. Greg Coble and Popeye Jones. Popeye Jones following his shot. Ogden gets fouled.
Well, once again, Judd Heathcote's got to be upset. He's telling Peplowski, play off of him. You don't have to worry about him from 3-point range. But the one thing you can't let him do is shoot the basketball. Peplowski's not even close to him, but you cannot let him chase it down. He comes right around. Peplowski gets no block out on him, and all of a sudden that gets him in foul trouble right off the blocks. And we've got to remember that Murray State is an outstanding free throw shooting team if it develops as the game goes on, if it gets to that.
This is a shot that goes for 2. Frank Allen. Frank Allen has 2 free throws and a field goal now and his 4 points.
Yeah, we've played 21.5 minutes, and we're right back where we started.
The last Michigan State foul was on Matt Steginger. He has 2 fouls. Steve Smith blocked off by King. Good baseline pass, and Stevens drives for the basket. Or does Stevens get the basket?
Carl counted the basket.
And the foul on Stevens. First foul on Stevens. Stevens has 6 points.
Well, here we see it. Smith throws it across court. Stevens takes it hard to the hole.
There's Popeye.
Tough call, boy. Tough call. Judgment. Always a tough call when you have judgment involved. Popeye. Ogden is really posting up on Stevens inside.
While Popeye's working on Peplowski. And Popeye Jones with a one-hand shot high off the glass. And a rebound, Steve Smith.
Here it comes. Dish it. Good feed.
Redfield with the basket. Stevens with the assist.
Boy, what makes that such a good feed is you got a big guy like Stevens in the open court making that play. That's a play a guard makes, but not a big guy.
Now a 4-point lead for Michigan State. It's 17:56 left in the game. Frank Allen finds Ogden. Around to Paul King. Popeye Jones. And he has 20 points.
Michigan State's trying to get their running game going again. Redfield's got to be heard from.
Redfield on the miss. Popeye was fighting with King for the rebound. King out to Allen. Now Murray State with a chance to tie or take the lead with 3. Michigan State stays in the man-to-man.
Got a little change here. We got Ogden now and Peplowski.
Ogden was cut off, and King saves it on the sideline.
They've elected to go with a little bit better quickness because Popeye has elected to either come outside when Peplowski's on him or try to take Stevens in the hole, and they just feel like they've got to take away that jump shot from the top of the key.
This is Allen. Ogden can't get it over Stevens. Stevens saves it on the sideline. A long lead pass for Redfield.
Boy, that's too bad. In that Frankie Allen had a chance right there. He just misjudged the ball. It was not a real well-advised pass, but Allen just misjudged timing on it and got over him. Redfield completes the play. Good luck by Stevens.
And Redfield has 6 points, 39-35 Michigan State, 16:40 and counting in the second half. Coble out at the point, watched by Smith. Popeye Jones. Jones fights for it. His follow. And he got the roll, didn't he? 22 points.
Really uses his body well. Every time he shoots the ball, he has a chance to go to the free throw line. Good luck.
Montgomery to Stevens.
What's happening is Murray State is really having to work offensively to get their baskets, and then because of defensive breakdowns, they're allowing Michigan State to score too quickly. It's just putting too much pressure on Murray State. They've got to cinch up defensively.
A 4-point lead for Michigan State. The Racers have the ball. Coble to King. King over Montgomery. Paul King has 5. He had a 3-point basket in the first half. See, right there. The other way, Stevens, but he traveled.
Well, caught him on the travel, but boy, I tell you, Steve Newton has really got to be concerned. It's just an ongoing scenario with them.
So a timeout on the court. We have 15:52 left in the game. Michigan State 41, Murray State 39.
Purina Cat-Chow. Chow, chow, chow. Purina Cat-Chow. Chow, chow, chow.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and...
Drug abuse has become so common that most of us know someone who is a drug user. Maybe that someone is a classmate. Maybe he or she is a relative or friend. Maybe that someone is you. If you are involved in substance abuse, it's not too late to stop. There are programs and people ready to help. Think about it. If you can stop using drugs, you can stop wasting your money, your relationships, and your life.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Well, Bob Weldick on one end of the floor, it's work, work, work for a basket, and on the other end, it looks so easy for Michigan State.
Well, here's a classic example. Stevens chases the ball down, looks up, Redfield's released. Great pass, Allen misjudges it. Redfield takes it in for the easy score. You know, you just can't work as hard as Murray State's working and then allow the other team because of a defensive breakdown. Here we've got Popeye Jones. He's keeping them in it. He just keeps plugging away, and Murray State has been able to keep the ball alive on the board. Ogden's numbers don't show up because he has really been active around the backboard.
This is King for 3. And a rebound, Poplawski, outlet Redfield.
Here we go.
Montgomery shooting for 2 points. That's his first basket today.
They're releasing people. What they're doing is as a guy comes out to challenge the shooter, after he challenges the shooter, they're releasing him down the floor and not worrying about the block out. I think Murray State has been sending probably 4 guys to the board, and they're going to have to back a guy off, at least a half a man off, to keep Michigan State from converting.
Coble light with the shot. Poplawski out to Steve Smith, who pushes it up the floor. The no-look pass from Montgomery to Redfield.
Oh, yes! Timeout. They need one. They need one now. It's going to get away.
And a timeout called by the Murray State Racers, with Michigan State racing up and down the floor to a 45-39 lead.
Well, here's Steve Smith, and this is why, as a pro scout, you got to be drooling over this guy. Probably one of the best unknown players in the country. Great reverse by Redfield.
And Redfield has 8. There's a timeout on the court with the score. Michigan State 45, Murray State 39.
Take the new 1990 Volkswagen Passat out for a Sunday drive, and it'll make a big impression. After all, it's roomier than the Volvo 740 and more powerful than a Honda Accord LX. But best of all, Passat lets you experience Fahrvergnügen, a special oneness with car and road which can turn an ordinary Sunday drive into a truly uplifting experience. Fahrvergnügen. It's what makes a car a Volkswagen.
As a member of management here, you're to be congratulated for selecting Hewlett-Packard as your personal computer system.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, someone in this company had the vision to realize Hewlett-Packard is a better way.
We have a lot of people around here that know what they're doing.
For management, you don't seem to know an awful lot about computers.
No, I don't.
Probably wouldn't have gotten to be management today like that, but...
Probably not.
No.
But here I am.
There is a better way. Hewlett-Packard. Buy Hewlett-Packard PCs and get a free HP printer.
You gotta love a place where you get a lot of space for not a lot of money, and the breakfast is free. At Hampton Inn, you got our guarantee. Spend a lot of nights, you gotta feel right. In the morning, it's a place to be. At Hampton Inn, yeah, you got our guarantee.
A comfortable room, free local calls, free continental breakfast, and our guarantee you'll be completely satisfied or you don't pay. You gotta love us.
At Hampton Inn, yeah, you got our guarantee.
Michigan State had a 10-point lead in the first half. Murray State cut that to 2 by halftime, but right now it's a 6-point lead for the Spartans at 45-39.
Got pride back in for Ogden. They're trying to give these guys a break periodically, but we still have Allen and King and Popeye playing an awful lot of the game. We're going to have to see how that wear and tear takes place. Coble back in also. He gave him a great lift in the first half.
And Rosario's on the bench. Frank Allen is guarded by Redfield. Sherman Pride is number 24. Murray State is trying to work for a good shot. 12 on the shot clock. Allen over Redfield. Redfield got a hand on it and a hand on Allen.
Well, Redfield's versatility really gives Michigan State a plus. You got a guy out there that's 6'7", who can play as a forward. Here he does a great job of moving his feet. He gets in position, but then what he does is he reaches. And there's the hack on the arm. He does a great job of cutting off the baseline and getting in a position where he has to, where Allen has to shoot the ball over him, but then he reaches and fouls.
Allen hit only 22% in the OVC tournament, but was 9 for 10 from the free throw line. The freshman of the year in the conference is 3 for 3 today with 5 points.
We talked about Michigan State being 23-0 and they're at the half and ahead, but we also need to mention that in games that Murray State was behind in the second half, they're 12-2. So this is a long one from being over, and here we see the press, 1-2-1-1 after three-quarter court press after made free throws. Back into what I think will be a zone. I think they need to probably go back and look at some zone just from a standpoint of getting back defensively. Back into man.
Michigan State has shot 75% from the field in the second half compared to Murray State's 36. 14 minutes to go, and Michigan State leads 45-41. Here's Smith forcing the issue. Montgomery shooting for 3. Boom. 5 now for Montgomery.
Yeah, see, Smith was fouled, still dished the ball off. Tough matchup because he can go over and you shoot it. He can take you inside and shoot it. Man-to-man is a tough proposition for Murray State right now.
Popeye Jones over Hickman. Popeye fights for the rebound, but there's Montgomery. Montgomery for the Spartans. He just hit the three-point shot. Smith to Hickman. And Hickman brings it back out.
His adjustments are great. You know, most guys, you know, get a bad shot. He just passes the ball so well.
Hickman's in the paint. Here's Smith with the follow. 12 now for Steve Smith.
King looks tired. I think they're going to have to bring their guards in, get some rebounding on the defensive board. The big guys can't handle this Michigan State size. Smith's going inside to rebound. His man has to go in and get him out of there.
The Racers have missed their last 6 field goal tries. And here's Redfield ahead to Montgomery. Good ball control for
Still
Montgomery.
got numbers. Still got numbers.
Hickman threw it away.
Boy, you just can't make that kind of a play. Once again, to give you an indication of how I think slow Murray State's getting back, Michigan State runs the break, backs it off, and you're still looking at 4 and 3 until the ball's thrown out of bounds. Murray State is really struggling getting back defensively.
Chris Ogden, number 40, just checked back in for the Murray State Racers. 9-point lead now for Michigan State, and the Racers have the ball.
Give it to him.
Here's Ogden. He just came back into the lineup. There's Popeye Jones with the rebound and the basket. 24 for Jones.
Well, I think what's amazing about him is as big as he is, he's such an active player. Not only does he have great hands and good offensive skills, but there's a rebound that comes off that he rebounds on the backside board that most guys just don't rebound.
Montgomery. And the long rebound out to Ken Redfield.
They're looking for, they're going to set up Smith. They're going to bring him off the screen.
But it goes the other way for Redfield. And back out to Montgomery.
They're going to run him through. Smith will take the ball. He's either going to go one-on-one or they're going to run him through. Get his arm on him.
Now Smith runs into Paul King, and King is called for a foul.
I'll tell you, King had Smith by the elbow and wouldn't let him drive the basketball. Right here. You're going to just see it. I mean, you just reach, look here.
That hands-on experience right there.
I mean, he's got his arm stuck in there. And they're just kind of looking at it. Now they get him for that call there. I think they felt guilty not making the first call.
And King wanted the hook, didn't
he? King said, give me the hook.
Michigan State leading 50-43. Kirk Mans in the offense now. He had 15 in the first half. Here's Smith.
Nope.
Too long on that try for 3, and King pulls it in for Murray State.
I love it. Judd's over there talking to his assistant, showing the shooting motion that Smith took. Like, you know, like now if he'd have just done it this way. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's shooting darn near 50% from three-point range.
Coble. White jerseys around the basket. Steve Smith with the rebound. Smith's fouled. And he'll shoot 2 shots. The foul's on Coble. That's his first. Even though Coble is the 6th man, Bob, he'll come in and play 30 minutes a game.
Well, here we see him. He's just going to go around him, and you know, you get caught flat-footed because he's so quick in that first step. And if you do belly up to him, then he takes the ball over you. Coble is a guy that's going to play about 34, 35 minutes. I thought it was a shooting foul, but they're going to put it on the floor.
Smith will not go to the line, and Michigan State with the ball out of bounds.
Man, oh man, I can't believe he didn't shoot that.
But he shot for 2. Kirk Mans has 17.
Murray State is really having trouble on the screens that go from the 10-second line to the baseline. They're not having trouble on the vertical screens across the lane. They're having trouble on the down screen.
This is Allen. Boy, he shot a rainbow for 3 that time. 9 points now for Frank Allen, the freshman of the year in the Ohio Valley Conference.
He's got to give him a lift because he's the guy that offensively is capable of just taking the ball, bellied him up, need him.
Paul King with his 2nd foul on Smith.
I think King has to look at position defense, and what I mean by that is giving him an arm's length, especially when he's 3 steps above the 3-point shooting line, and just shadowing, and then as he gets ready to go to his shot, go up straight, be under control, but to reach and grab is a no-win situation. Smith's going to blow by you every time.
Scott Sibbles in with Chris Ogden leaving. Sibbles is a freshman from Cadiz, Kentucky. 10:38 left in the game. Michigan State up 52-46. And the Spartans have the ball. Steve Smith on the outside. Kirk Mans open for 3. He can't drill it, though. Popeye Jones on the outlet pass to Frank Allen.
That's that down screen. Murray State's getting hung up on the backside.
Out of bounds it goes to Michigan State as Sibbles couldn't catch the ball. I started to say, Bob, we haven't seen Popeye Jones out at the point or at the 3-point line. That time he was setting up with the point, calling for the ball when the pass went into Sibbles.
Well, for a little while now, I think that Murray State has tried to up tempo and not been quite so patient offensively and taken a look at him. They're not giving him a chance to develop things inside.
There's Poplawski with the catch. Short with the shot, however.
Well, you got to get that one off the glass. Big guy like that, he can't come up short.
Now King with a stutter step move to the baseline for the one-hander. And Redfield on the outlet to Steve Smith going one-on-one with Allen. Here's Mans. Kirk Mans scores and has 19.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Smith just creates. You're back there, Frankie Allen, sitting back there seeing these 2 guys come at him, knowing Smith's a ball handler. That's a point guard's nightmare defensively.
9.5 minutes to go. Michigan State leads Murray State 54-46. Frank Allen in on Redfield. The one-hander goes.
That's left-handed. Man, I mean to tell you, that had to be. There it comes again.
Stevens. Stevens has 10 points.
See, I just don't understand it because Murray State is not trying to press. We're going to get a timeout here, so there's no reason for them not to be getting back when the shot's taken other than they're just tired.
Popeye Jones has 24 for Murray State, 19 for Kirk Mans as his Spartans lead Murray State 56-48.
So, what's Gary doing? Oh, nuclear engineering. Whoa, nuclear engineering?
You're all ahead 1/3.
Oh, he's studying, huh? But he hasn't been out of high school that long. Well, it's an accelerated program.
Today's Navy. High-tech training that takes you only one way. Full speed ahead.
You were the Navy. Full speed ahead.
Slip into the driver's seat of the 1990 Volkswagen Jetta and experience Fahrvergnügen, when car and driver become one. Powered by a digital fuel-injected engine, Jetta's nimble suspension brings you as close to the road as you can get without scraping your knees. Once you experience Fahrvergnügen, the road will never be long enough. Fahrvergnügen, it's what makes a car a Volkswagen.
In financial matters, as in life, Everybody's different. Different needs, different goals. The Principal Financial Group understands. Our financial services are as unique and individual as you are. Personalized solutions that offer each customer an advantage. That's the Principal Edge. It's made us one of America's largest. So for diversified products that fit your financial needs to the letter, look for the Principal Edge.
With 9:09 left in the game, Michigan State leads 56-48, Bob.
Well, here's the problem we've been talking about. Missed shot, Michigan State clears the glass. You can see Smith was already releasing as the ball came off. I don't understand why Murray State's not getting people back, although that's a tough play for Frank Allen to make. But when that ball's shot and you're not pressing, you've got to understand you got to be back. So their guards have got to start retreating. I think they're trying to cheat a guard to the backboard to rebound.
Now on the inside, Ogden too strong. Here's Popeye Jones with the follow shot. 26 for Popeye Jones.
Well, if Murray State is not successful in this game, it won't be because of Popeye Jones. He's already 7 over his average and has just been an absolute horse on the boards.
Steve Smith at the three-point line, guarded by Paul King.
Got the release.
Oh, behind the back pass to Mans to get out of trouble.
Well, he had Peplowski going to the backboard on a pick and roll, just missed him.
Here's Smith for 2. The long rebound, volleyed, and finally controlled by Ogden.
We're getting inside 8. Murray State still hanging around.
Only down by 6. Coble up to Allen. Allen is directing Popeye Jones to play inside. Out to King and around for the corner, where Coble finds Popeye Jones shooting from 18 feet. 28 for Popeye Jones, and we have a 4-point ball game now.
Just keep hanging around. Well, I tell you, it can come down to anything. You get inside of a minute, it's a 1- or 2-point basketball game. A lot of strange things can happen.
Well, Bob, Michigan State in '79 with the national championship team with Magic and with Kelser. They were a running team. Now here's Stevens trying to score and can't. Smith loses the ball out of bounds. It seems to me, Bob, that Michigan State has been more effective in a running game today compared to the half-court game.
Don't think there's any question. I think, they've got numbers. Murray State's a little bit tired. There's a good job by King of forcing the ball loose. Michigan State all day long has had an ability to come up with loose balls. Balls out of bounds. Good no call by the official, but that is a big missed rebound in possession by Murray State.
Big defensive play by Paul King, the defensive specialist at Murray State.
Michigan State just right now a little bit quicker, a little bit fresher, seem to be coming up with some loose balls.
Now Steve Smith on King. This is Mark Montgomery. Poplowski on the putback. That's his first basket.
Big one, though. Real big one.
Back to a 6-point lead for Michigan State with 7 minutes to play. Now Murray State in its half-court game. From Ogden over to Paul King.
Hold. Yes.
A hold on Dwayne Stevens, his second foul.
That's a good call. They tried to set the back pick. They were setting up the lob, and they were trying to back pick out of the high post. Ogden was going to the basket. Stevens just reached out and grabbed him. Good call. Probably a pretty good foul, though, because they were looking at almost a sure thing.
Bob, the officials are letting these teams play. Only 5 fouls for Michigan State. That's a basket for Popeye Jones, 30 points.
I think Judd's going to have to really seriously consider a quicker guy in there, give him a little bit more versatility at both ends of the floor. Peplowski's not been able to shut him down. You might as well get a quicker guy in there that can maybe keep him from getting the ball.
Bob, you're coaching this game. Murray State's hanging around. You get quite concerned, don't you?
Oh, hey, anytime you're coaching any game that a team hangs around that you know can make free throws and shoot the three-pointer, you're always concerned.
Big steal by Chris Ogden. Here's Popeye Jones on the jump shot. Ogden kept it alive, but Mans clears for Michigan State.
Michigan State standing around a little bit the last 2 possessions.
A 4-point lead for the Spartans with Mark Montgomery running the offense, and now Smith is in control.
I'm a little surprised they haven't gone back to the offense where they run Smith through and then bring him off screens. He's more effective than when he's trying to work one-on-one.
Now he moves in on Ogden and scores the basket.
Well, he got the switch there. There was a switch between King and Ogden. That's a mismatch quickness-wise for Ogden. But once again, they had so much success early on with screening, bringing him off the baseline. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to that.
Michigan State has 3 players in double figures. Kirk Mans with 19. Now 14 for Steve Smith and 10 for Dwayne Stevens. Popeye Jones at 30 points. Frank Allen at 11. The only 2 players in double figures for the Racers. Popeye, 32 for Jones.
They can do that all night long. You know, they just have to make a decision. Are we going to keep him from getting the ball, or are we going to let him score? Because if he gets the ball, he's going to score, whether it's on the free throw line or off the glass. He's going to put it in the hole somehow.
And he doesn't have to be really close in to score.
Missing the pick and roll. Good play by...
That was Coble. Coble going for the loose ball. Went out of bounds off Coble.
See, Smith's got to come back in here. Peplowski can't handle him inside. Smith's not getting back in, and Popeye's a good enough post player. He never puts the ball on the floor. He just turns, gets the elbow in your face, and goes up and shoots it. Timeout, Michigan State.
As Popeye goes over to the Murray State bench with Steve Newton, we have a timeout on the court. Michigan State 60. The Murray State Racers 54. Murray State holding close with Michigan State leading by 4 and 5:05 to go. A long way to go in this game.
Well, interestingly enough, here in the second half of the 25 points that Murray State scored, you've got Popeye Jones with 14 of them. Allen's got the other 9. You know, they're just very quickly defining who's going to score and who's not, and they've done the job with it.
There's Smith inside for a travel. You called it, Bob. Murray State with the ball down by 4 and 4:56 to play.
Well, one of the problems they've got right now is they're playing off Montgomery, so even though they put Smith in the low post, they're going to come off Montgomery as a feeder. They may want to use Mans as the feeder to keep the feeder defensively honest.
This is Coble, watched by Steve Smith of Michigan State with the Spartans up by 4.
I'm really surprised they didn't go into Ogden. Got Redfield now. Got Redfield on Popeye.
Popeye with the catch, and he missed the short shot. And a foul's called on Popeye Jones.
Well, I tell you, that's a great play. I mean, you couldn't have diagrammed it any better. Super job, Steve Newton. What they're doing here is they're fronting the low post. When you front in the low post with a big guy, then when you deliver it back out on top, Popeye seals him, catches it going to the basket. As you front him, he moves you up the lane, and that gives him room to move to the basket.
2 fouls on Jones, 5 on Murray State. The team fouls are even at 5 in the second half.
We'll see it again. You can bet on that.
Smith shoots right at the whistle.
Block.
And a block is called against Stevens, the freshman.
Screen, yep.
3 fouls on Stevens. Poplowski has 3 fouls for Michigan State.
Tuck. Here we got it. You can see going down on the left side. You'll see right there.
And King.
There's the illegal screen.
King goes bailing out on the play.
We talked about fatigue. If it gets inside of 3 minutes and it's a game, they'll play on adrenaline and crowd noise. Fatigue will no longer be a factor if it's a game at the 3-minute mark.
Now King from the 3-point line. A new career high for Popeye Jones with 32 today. King just pushed that up, and a foul's called on Mans.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, I think that's iffy. Once again, he lost control on the way up. Jumped in toward the basket. They call Mans with the body. Tough call. Gives him a chance to cut it to 2.
This telecast is presented by authority of the NCAA. Any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions.
Tough call. Good move by King. Aggressive move to the basket.
And how about that? A team that shoots 77% from the free throw line and a rare miss.
80-some% inside of 3 minutes. These guys are unbelievable. Like I said before, if they can get it down inside of 3, it'll be anybody's ball game.
6 points now for Paul King. And King's a 79% free throw shooter.
Big series for both teams right now. It's crunch time. Murray State getting a little bit of momentum.
Here's Steve Smith. Montgomery.
Unbelievable pass.
Great pass to Redfield for the basket and 1.
They get him cornered. They've got Montgomery cornered. They won't let him out of the corner. They set up the trap. Murray State falls asleep along the baseline. Redfield with a big play. Here it comes. They do a super job here, as you can see. They get him trapped in the corner. They're going to force him baseline right here. They fall asleep inside. Redfield takes the ball up, chance to complete a three-point play. Big play in the basketball game.
The foul was on Ogden, his fourth foul.
Big players make big plays, and Redfield has been a big player for him all year long.
Now he's in double figures with 10, make it 11. Redfield has 11. He came in averaging 11.9 a game. 63-57 Michigan State. Down to 3.5 minutes to go. Ogden hit the deck, but no whistle. Here's Popeye Jones with a great catch in the basket, adding to his career high. He has 34 points now.
Redfield gambled and lost, tried to use his quickness. Popeye held him off. You know, we've used Popeye all day long. His real name is Ronald, but I don't think anybody knew who we were talking about if we called him Ronald.
Got his name from his brother, who was watching cartoons when they brought Ron Jones home.
Interestingly enough, Stengenga has not played much in this game, particularly in the second half. He's back in the lineup.
Now here's Redfield. And a steal by Popeye Jones, and it looked like Redfield was all alone going to the basket.
Tried to pass, should have put it on the glass, tried to pass.
That was blocked by Smith. Coble's shot was blocked by Smith, and Montgomery will slow the pace. We come down to 2.5 minutes left to play in Knoxville.
Not a very good shot last possession. They should have ran some time, tried to get it down to 2 with about 2 minutes to go.
Stengenga to Smith for the basket.
Play.
16 for Smith, and a great pass by Matt Stengenga. 65-59 Michigan State.
Boy, Murray State has just been as courageous as you can possibly hope to be.
Smith inside.
They'll start playing time now. You're going to start seeing some time. They'll start taking time.
Inside 2 minutes to go. A 6-point lead for the Spartans.
Going to run the screen. Going to run the double screen down. We're going to see him come up. There it is.
Smith with 16 points has the ball at the point.
I think that's a version. Oh, it doesn't seem. I think that's a version of their delay game.
Popeye Jones speeding ahead to Greg Coble. Coble was fouled by Stevens. That's 4 on Dwayne Stevens.
Well, this is an outstanding play by Coble. As hard as Stevens worked to get back, Coble does a great job of shielding him and getting an opportunity for a three-point play. We can see it here. Smith tries to force it. Popeye with the second steal in the last 3 possessions. Now you'll see as Stevens comes in, Coble turns, gets sideways on him so that Stevens can't get around him and has a chance for a three-point play, although he misses the field goal.
Coble's an outstanding free throw shooter, 86% on the season. He hit a school record 33 straight free throws before a miss against Eastern Kentucky. He has 7 points now. The second free throw will be in play at 1:36 to go. There's Kirk Mans coming back in for Michigan State.
Well, ironically enough, Michigan State's delay game consists of Steve Smith handling the ball. Murray State, depending upon what happens here, is going to have to start thinking possibly about fouling. And of all those guys in there, Steve Smith is one of the core free throw shooters.
Now it's a 4-point game.
So it's a catch-22 for Michigan State. You want your best ball handler with the ball, but also you don't want to have a problem with free throws.
So a timeout on the court with 1:36 left in the game. Michigan State is leading Murray State by 4 points, 65-61.
For millions of Americans, mowing the lawn can be a real chore. Fortunately, Honda's created the new hydrostatic transmission lawnmower. The first mower that lets you choose whatever speed you need smoothly, no matter what you're cutting around. Look into the new hydrostatic transmission lawnmowers at your Honda dealer. They let you mow without the stop and go.
They're here. 140 truly great products, bought in huge quantities so you get great prices. Like the Lifestyler programmable treadmill for under $500. This month only at Sears. Sears Great Buying Power Specials. We challenged our buyers to find the best buys possible, and they responded with 140 great items, like this Craftsman Variable Speed Reversible Drill for just $26.88. This month only at Sears.
Gillette announces a razor that can sense the individual needs of your face.
Gillette, the best
Introducing the extraordinary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and adjust to your face for the best shave a man can get. Closer, smoother, safer. New Gillette Sensor.
No television delivers the big picture quite like RCA. With features so advanced, you can watch TV in ways you never thought possible. With viewing and listening experiences that are quite overwhelming.
Got it!
After all, if we didn't push technology to new heights, we'd never be able to face the world's toughest critics day after day. RCA, #1 with the toughest critics in the world.
He may not look like it, but this man is banking by phone. With just one call, he can transfer money from savings to checking or pay his credit card bill, get the latest rate information, or buy a CD. He can do all this and more just by picking up the phone from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on weekdays. Only one bank in town puts so many banking services at your fingertips.
Coming through for you.
Michigan State comes up with an offensive rebound and a chance to take it down. Gracious.
We're in Knoxville, Tennessee at Thompson Bowling Arena, where Michigan State, the #1 seed, is playing the #16 seed Murray State. Murray State has the ball, down by 4 points.
I think we're going to see them look for Popeye inside. They still have time. There goes the ball.
And a foul on Ken Redfield.
Well, Redfield says, I never touched him, but there's no question on the foul. Popeye Jones with 34 points. They have tried everything. They've put everybody on him. They just can't seem to contain him. Such a wide body, goes up, hits him on the hand. Chance to get 2 without the clock moving. This is going to come down to a real interesting situation at the other end as to what Murray State will do.
Popeye Jones is 4 for 5 from the line and has a career-high 35 points today. Popeye Jones, a 6'8", 255-pound sophomore. He was over the 300-pound mark last June.
Well, they're going to look for the press right away and try to deny the ball inbounds. That's a big miss. They got to get it up to court. And Montgomery's a guy you look to foul. You cannot let him run the clock out. Good man to foul. No call. Can't foul Mans. He's 86%. Michigan State keeping it in the hands of the foul shooters. Good job. They're losing too much time. They've got to come up with something.
Right back to Mans it goes.
There's the guy. There's the guy.
And they foul Montgomery. Now the sophomore from Inkster, Michigan, a 58% shooter, goes to the line. Montgomery has 5 today, and the foul was on Frank Allen.
Well, they did such a good job, Michigan State, of keeping the ball in the free throw shooter's hands. Mans is shooting 86% from the free throw line. He's got 19 points today coming off the bench. He's just had a sensational game. Montgomery's a little bit iffy.
Here's Montgomery, a 45% field goal shooter, 58 from the line. Big miss, but a big rebound. Stegenga is tied up, and the possession goes to Murray State. Now, if you're thinking about a three-point shot, Murray State is hitting 28% today, 5 out of 18.
You're going to be surprised, but Popeye Jones may take the three-pointer. He's already got a number of three-pointers today. They haven't done a good job of guarding him on the perimeter. 3 three-pointers today. He shot the ball well from there. Don't be a bit surprised if as good a three-point shooter as Allen might be and as good a three-point shooter as Paul King is, they're still, I think, going to set it up for Popeye Jones.
Well, number 16 has not beaten a number 1, but we're pretty close in this one now. It's 65-62 Michigan State.
But remember, the last time a low seed won a game of this magnitude, it was Murray State 2 years ago, seeded number 14, beating NC State, and going on to give Kansas what then was the most difficult game for Kansas on their drive to the national title. So these guys are very capable. We're inside now of 13 seconds. We talked about them hanging around. Anything can happen. Here we see the missed foul shot. Good job of sliding inside. Poor job by Murray State of blocking out. And then the tie-up. Possession arrow favors the Racers.
Paul King was able to tie up Matt Stegenga. Well, Coach Newton of the Murray State Racers has been saying all along, and there's a little magic in thinking big. Well, for the Ohio Valley Conference, how about these big wins in the past? Austin Peay over Illinois, Murray State beating NC State, and then playing Kansas to a 3-point ball game with Kansas winning, and then Middle Tennessee over Florida State.
This has been such a typical Murray State game. In the finals against Eastern, they made 14 out of 15 free throws down the stretch to win that game after being behind the whole second half. Same thing against Austin Peay. It's been a Cinderella season. Michigan State has allowed them to hang around, and when you do that, then anything can happen. Both of them have a timeout left. Both of them have, are in the bonus. What you don't want to do is you do not want to foul at this point Murray State. I think you have to force them to drive the ball to the basket, almost to the point where you concede the easy shot, but do not let them shoot the ball from 3-point. Particularly, don't let King or Popeye Jones get the 3-point shot.
10 seconds to go. Allen out front. This is King. 5 seconds.
They're getting nothing. They're getting nothing.
Now the shot for 3.
He's in it!
It counts! It's overtime! Overtime! Murray State has tied Michigan State at 65.
Let me tell you what, I'd like to hear it, but Steve Newton tried to tell us that he set it up for Coble. But regardless, the guy makes a big basket. He's played well the whole game. Gave him a boost in the first half, bringing him back to 10. We got a tie basketball game.
Well, could it happen today? Could it be a number 16 beating a number 1 for the first time?
Well, here we got him coming off, and I think what they wanted to do is to roll Popeye. They didn't find him. Now they've got King with the ball 1-on-1. Here comes Coble. Coble doesn't even look at the clock. They reach, miss, boom. Head fake goes up. That is a tough shot. They reach here. They needed to really probably foul. Stangenga misses on the block because of the good head fake. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Bob, what makes this tournament so great, these teams play 30 games or better, or close to the 30-game mark. But just to get to this point where one loss and that's it.
Well, we watched all during the second half, and we talked about, Murray State's lack of depth and the fact that they were getting tired. And I alluded to the point that if they get inside of 3 minutes, it's not going to make any difference how tired they are, because you play then on crowd and emotion. And they have as good a chance now as anybody. I mean, they're 2-1 in overtime, and they have really got it gunned up. And everybody who was here watching the game that didn't care is now a Racer fan.
There's Judd Heathcote, and his team gets the ball on the tip. Our 5-minute overtime session. 65-65 at the end of regulation. Here's Smith on the baseline jump.
Big players coming off the screen. They just have not been able to defense that all day long. I was a little surprised they didn't go to that more at the end of regulation.
67-65, Michigan State.
Mismatch inside. Stangenga cannot guard Ogden inside.
Stangenga gets the ball free. Montgomery has it on the sideline. And now Michigan State has a chance to add to its 2-point lead.
With as much energy as has been expended out here, particularly by Murray State, they cannot afford to fall behind too far in the overtime.
Michigan State is 1-0 in overtime games, beating Minnesota by 2.
Block. Got Redfield on the block going the other way.
Redfield has 4 fouls.
I'm sorry, wrong call.
Check that. 3 fouls on Steginger. So 3 fouls on Redfield, 3 on Steginger.
Stevens comes into the game. He's really played brilliantly for him defensively. But they still have to look to Popeye. He's the bread and butter guy. He's got Peplowski on him. Peplowski has really had trouble with his quickness. He's the go-to guy. That's the guy they got to get it to.
Paul King. Paul is a junior from St. Louis, Missouri, Webster Groves High School. 1 out of 2 from the free throw line today. 6 points overall. And 1 point away from tying this game.
Well, he may be 1 for 2 today or now 2 for 3, but we all know that inside of 3 minutes, there's a magical wand surrounding these guys. They shoot 85% plus going down inside the last 3 minutes. Don't expect them to miss any now.
A second-team All-Ohio Valley Conference performer, Paul King, with a chance to tie the game at 67.
It jinxed him.
He did. Smith on the rebound. Kirk Mans is in for offense now for Michigan State. Mans off the bench today has scored 19 points. A 1-point lead for the Spartans. There's Mans open for 3.
Missed.
And on the line drive rebound, Frank Allen comes up the floor for Murray State. Allen all the way in. And he has the ball. To the baseline for King, and he'll bring it back out.
Good judgment. Nothing there. He was going to get it pinned on the glass.
Coble for 3. He tied the game with the 3, but Poplawski clears it out to Smith.
Well, that's a big rebound by Poplawski. I think they're going to run Smith off screens. Stevens looks like he's hurt.
Now a holding foul called on Greg Coble, his second personal foul.
Yeah, the officials have done a good job of letting him play. You've got to give them all the credit in the world. This here is really a touch foul, but by and large, it would have had an effect should he have shaken the ball loose, and they have really let him play, and that's made for an enjoyable basketball game.
How good a free throw shooter is Ken Redfield? 64% this season. He has a three-point play today. Short with that one, and that belongs to Frank Allen.
Just can't get it done. Just can't get him put away. Oh, no call.
No call.
That a good screen. Wow. Tell you what, you're telling your coach, I set that screen, they don't call it. Don't look for me back in there again.
Here's Allen around to King.
They've got him
stayed in the man-to-man.
They've got to go to him.
Popeye Jones on the turnaround.
He's just got to come back in and help on him. They can't allow him to play Poplawski one-on-one in the post. Poplawski can't handle him.
37 for Ron Popeye Jones. Murray State with a lead of 68-67. 2:37 and counting in overtime. Kirk Mans cut off by Allen. There's Redfield. 23 on the shot clock.
King was doing a good job trying to get Steve Smith from getting the ball. Smith, as good as he is one-on-one, I don't think is as good as when he comes off screens. Good move there, though.
20 points now for Steve Smith. He came in averaging 19.7 a game.
Gives you so much. He can beat you inside. He can beat you outside. He shoots it over. He's got the three-point package. This guy is really tough to play against.
Ogden out front for Allen. Mans is guarding King. Popeye Jones works on Poplawski. Redfield rebound. Now Michigan State will try to add to the 69-68 lead with 1:50 to go in overtime.
Going to play some time. Going to get Mans with the ball. You can't afford to foul him. Going to play for some time. Not a great ball handler, though.
Now Smith tries to add to his 20 points. 22 for Steve Smith.
I want to see who the most valuable player is in that league if that guy's not. We're talking about a guy right now that can play this game flat out playing as well as anybody playing.
Well, Steven Scheffler of Purdue was the MVP of the Big Ten, hitting around 70% from the field.
Boy, I mean to tell you, this guy's unbelievable. We talk about the guards in this tournament, Chris Jackson, but
that's a three. Oh, long bomb three for Allen. 14 points, and we're tied at 71 with a minute to go in overtime.
Well, they'll play it down. I think Michigan State really has to score here. If they don't, they're in trouble because Murray State just seems to be playing with great confidence.
Here's Mans. Mans for the reverse.
Oh, what a play by Mans!
21 for Mans. 73-71 Michigan State. 35 seconds left in overtime.
I think they're going to play for the win.
Here's Popeye Jones. Out of bounds to Murray State with 26 seconds to go.
I think they'll play for the win. I think they're tired. I think they've done as much as they can do. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see them go for the three-pointer for the win.
A timeout on the court with 26 seconds left in overtime. Our score, Michigan State 73, Murray State 71.
Been staring out there all day. What are you doing? I'm trying to figure out.
At Star Ford, we care about you. Our service department is now open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to midnight. Star Ford at Oxmoor.
Impressing the ladies is hard. New Busch Light is easy because it's cold filtered to make it the easiest drinking light beer around. So after a hard day, remember, New Busch Light is easy, which makes it a very easy choice. Let me summarize for the newcomers. Flying Coach, that's hard. New Busch Light is easy because it's cold filtered to make it very easy drinking. New Busch Light is easy. Losing your car keys is hard. So make the easy choice.
Here's the play that puts them ahead by 2. Mans takes the ball. Good penetration, gets closed off, comes up underneath. I didn't think this had a prayer shooter's roll. At the other end, John, I really think they've had 5 guys now play for almost 45 minutes. Murray State is exhausted. I really believe they'll play for the win. I just can't see them playing for the other overtime. I think they'll try to play for the win.
Forget about the shot clock. 26 seconds left in overtime with Michigan State leading by 2. In the overtime, Michigan State 3 out of 4, while the Racers are 2 out of 6. Murray has 1 timeout left. The Spartans have 2. There he is, Popeye Jones, the 6'8" sophomore from Dresden, Tennessee, with 37 points today. And Popeye can't tie the game. Redfield with the rebound, and there's Smith. Montgomery finds Redfield. Time's ticking down. Poplawski to Stevens, and a 4-point lead for Michigan State with 12 seconds left.
That's how much I know about it. They had the easy shot early.
That's a shot for 3. Off the back iron, out of bounds. Michigan State with the ball and 4 seconds left.
It was actually a good play. Murray State, because it came open, so open inside on the inbounds play, they elected for the easy shot. One of the few shots Popeye has missed. Michigan State did not do a great job of defensing it. Murray State looked like they had the tie. Now they're in trouble. We'll see a guy go long here.
All the way over to Redfield with 3 seconds left, and that's the game. Number 1 seed Michigan State survives a scare from Murray State by winning in overtime 75-71.
What a great basketball game. Boy, you can't say enough about Murray Racers. They have done a super job coming in here today and strapping on the number 1 seed.
The final score in overtime, Michigan State 75 and Murray State 71.